The American dream from promise to pipe dream. Ah, the American dream. Work hard, play by the rules, and you too can achieve middle-class nirvana. Except the American dream has morphed into something different. Less land of opportunity, more obstacle course. Remember when middle-class life meant owning a home, affording a vacation, maybe even retiring? Yeah, those days are gone. The reality for many is stagnant wages, skyrocketing costs, and a tough job market. And the worst part, it's not a bug in the system, it is the system, so we are going to be a bumpy ride through late-stage capitalism. The Great American Job Hunt, more like a Hunger Games audition. Remember when finding a job was as simple as printing out a resume and strolling into an interview? Welcome to 2023, where the job market resembles a gladiator arena. The competition for decent-paying jobs is fiercer than a pack of raccoons fighting over pizza crust. Low-wage land where dreams go to die on minimum wage. 63% of job openings are for low-wage positions. Nearly two-thirds of jobs barely cover your Netflix subscription, let alone rent, groceries, and student loan debt. Congrats, you can afford a car as long as you don't need a place to live or food to eat. The middle-class squeeze when even working full-time isn't enough. Remember that whole work hard and you'll succeed mantra? Yeah, about that. 78% of jobs don't support a middle-class lifestyle. Even if you work more hours than a Swiss watchmaker, you'll still struggle. It's like a never-ending game of financial whack-a-mole. You pay your rent, bam, your car breaks down. It's a relentless cycle of financial stress. The middle-class unemployment myth, it's not a myth, it's a massacre. In 2015, only 4% of the unemployed were middle-class workers. Today, the middle-class unemployment landscape resembles a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Pink slip blues, when job losses hit women harder. The job market can be a cruel mistress, especially for American women. Over the past 2 years, women have lost 5.4 million jobs, while men have lost nearly 4 million. It's like trying to win Monopoly where men own all properties and the only token left is a tiny iron. The Great Layoff, where no job is safe. Remember when a pink slip was a rare and terrifying event? Well, the era of job security is officially over. This year alone, over 400,000 payroll jobs have vanished. When Made in America meant something. When American factories churned out products with pride, providing good-paying jobs for millions. Since the turn of the century, the U.S. has lost 50,000 manufacturing jobs every month. It's a slow decline that's hollowing out the American middle class. When you could buy a gallon of milk, a loaf of bread, and a dozen eggs without a second mortgage, those days are vanished into the abyss of inflation. Inflation is now at 16.9%. You're stuck in financial anxiety, wondering how to outrun it. When filling up your gas tank was a minor annoyance, something you did between errands without a second thought, it replaced by the reality of $4.43 per gallon. In just 2 weeks, gas prices have surged by 22%. Every time you pull up to the pump, it feels like you're handing over a small fortune. When a gallon of gas costs less than a cup of coffee now, the average price of a gallon of gasoline has nearly doubled in just 1 year. It's like getting hit with a financial sucker punch every time you fill up. When you could crank up the heat in the winter without worrying about selling a kidney to pay your energy bill, it replaced by sky-high energy costs. Energy bills now account for 6% of all consumer spending. When natural gas was cheap and abundant, now it replaced by soaring prices. Prices have skyrocketed by 24%. Cranking up the thermostat feels like burning money. When paying your utility bills was a minor inconvenience, something you did between sips of coffee. Now the soul-crushing reality of extreme utility bill increases. These increases are wreaking havoc on household budgets. One wrong move and you're plummeting into a financial abyss. Remember when childhood was supposed to be a time of carefree joy, filled with laughter, learning, and the occasional scraped knee? For many American children, childhood now means poverty, hunger, and struggling for basic necessities. In January, 3.7 million children fell into poverty due to expired government aid. It's a moral travesty that should shame us all. When America was the land of opportunity, the beacon of hope for the world, well, hold on to your hats. The U.S. has the highest child poverty rates in the developed world. It's a national disgrace. When we prided ourselves on being the richest, most powerful nation on earth, it's time to face a harsh reality. The United States has a poverty problem, and it's worse than most realize. It's like a tale of two countries, one where the rich get richer and the poor fend for themselves. When poverty was something that happened to other people, those living in faraway neighborhoods or rural communities, poverty is a pervasive problem affecting millions of Americans from all walks of life. The poverty rate in America stands at 17.8%. When the American dream was all about working hard and achieving success through sheer grit, the economic landscape has shifted, and for many, government assistance is now a lifeline. In 1980, government transfer payments were just 11.7% of all income. When the COVID-19 pandemic turned the world upside down, disrupting lives and livelihoods, one startling consequence is the shift in the relationship between American households and the federal government. U.S. households are now receiving more money from the government than they're paying in taxes. When receiving government assistance was stigmatized, the economic realities of 21st century America have shattered that stigma. Today, 52.2 million Americans, or 21.3%, receive financial assistance from the federal government. When a college education was the ticket to a better life, a pathway to higher earning potential, now the cost of higher education has spiraled out of control, leaving millions with crippling student loan debt. When college was affordable, something you could pay for with a summer job, now it becomes sky-high tuition rates. Since the 1980s, college tuition has increased by 900%. When graduating from college was a time of celebration, a culmination of years of hard work, for many it now means crippling student loan debt, a burden casting a long shadow. 66% of public college grads in the U.S. are saddled with debt. When healthcare was considered a basic human right for everyone, regardless of income or employment today, millions of Americans struggled to afford basic medical care. In 1980, healthcare costs were just 9.5% of personal consumption. When getting sick was just an inconvenience, something you recovered from with rest, fluids, and maybe a prescription in America, getting sick can be a financial nightmare with millions saddled with medical debt. Last year alone, Americans racked up $140 billion in medical debt. When credit cards were supposed to be a convenient tool for managing your finances, the reality is far more grim, as millions of Americans are trapped in high interest rates and mounting balances. One of the biggest contributors, unpaid medical expenses. When credit cards were new, something your parents warned you about but didn't fully understand, credit cards are now ubiquitous in American society, and with their rise, credit card debt has skyrocketed by 25,500% since 1970, adjusted for inflation. When owning a home was a cornerstone of the American dream, a symbol of stability and security, the dream of homeownership is slipping out of reach for millions as the market becomes unaffordable for the middle class. For most middle-class families, their home is their most valuable asset and a source of pride. When there were plenty of affordable homes for middle-class families, now it replaced by a severe housing shortage. Nationwide, only 250,000 homes are affordable for middle-class workers. When buying a home was a major life decision, something you planned for and saved for today, buying a home feels like winning the lottery, with odds stacked against middle-class families. Only 1 in 64 middle-class families can afford a home now. So, there you have it. 30 soul-crushing statistics that paint a bleak picture of the American dream's demise. We were promised a land of opportunity, a place where hard work would lead to a comfortable life. But somewhere along the way, the system broke down. The rungs on the ladder to success were removed, leaving millions struggling. The American dream as we once knew it is gone. It's been replaced by a system that benefits the wealthy few, a system where the cost of living skyrockets while wages remain stagnant. But it doesn't have to be this way. The choice is ours. The time to act is now.